Antonio's Story, Legacy of the Fallen. By Charles Olson. Chapter 5. The Night Everything Died. The Room. Nick called home inside Tony Montana's mansion was nothing more than a repurposed closet at the end of a gilded hallway. The walls were bare, yellowed with age. A battered desk fan spun weakly in the corner, pushing air that smelled faintly of cigar smoke and bleach. Nick sat hunched over in a wooden chair, clutching the black corded phone with one hand, wiping sweat from his brow with the other. The hum of the fan and the relentless tick of a wall clock filled the room with a steady, miserable rhythm. The voice on the other end of the line slithered through the static like a threat made flesh.
"Where is Mrs. Montana, Nick?"
It was the skull, flat, cold, unhurried. Nick's throat worked around a lie.
I don't know. She left after the fight. I haven't seen her since.
A beat of silence.
"I know you're lying, you cockroach. You've dug your own grave. Maybe you'll dig hers too before you die."
Click. The line went dead, but the dial tone screamed in Nick's ear, a siren that wouldn't let go. He didn't move, didn't breathe, just stared into the cracked tile floor like it might offer absolution. Then, suddenly, he moved. The receiver hit the cradle. His fingers punched the keypad with practiced speed. Another call. Fontainebleau Hotel, front desk. The lobby buzzed with soft classical music, gold trim, and the distant murmur of tourists trying not to look lost. A receptionist answered the ringing phone with a professional smile.
"Fontainebleau, good evening."
She listened. Her smile faded. Her expression sharpened. She grabbed an envelope, cream-colored, embossed with the hotel's logo, and scribbled a note. Then she waved down a lobby boy no older than 17.
"Suite 1124, now."
He nodded, tucked the envelope under his arm, and hurried to the elevators. The end of Tony Montana. Tony Montana's fall didn't happen in a single night. It unraveled slowly, like a fuse burning through every piece of his empire. New York. The beginning of the end. The meetings had changed. The men were different. Slicker. Quieter. Smiles too wide. Suits too sharp. They talked in soft voices behind tall glasses, eyes that never blinked. The money was still there, but the trust was gone. Tony knew Sosa was watching. He could feel it. One wrong move, and the knife would come from behind. Miami. Manny Ribera, the last thread of Tony's old life, died on a clean floor. A single shot to the heart. No arguments, no goodbyes. Just a moment of rage, a flash of betrayal, and then silence. Tony stared at his friend's body for too long, his gun still raised, the echo still ringing in his ears. It was the moment something inside him broke. The part that still believed in family. The mansion. By the time he returned home, the world had narrowed. His empire shrunk to the walls of his fortress. Cameras in every room. Guards with trembling hands. A mountain of cocaine replaced sleep, and rage replaced love. He screamed at ghosts, fired employees for imagined slights. He forgot who he trusted. Then he forgot how to trust at all. The final assault. They came in the night. Dozens of them, faces hidden, weapons drawn. They moved through the halls like phantoms, silent and merciless. Security monitors blinked red. Alarms were ignored. Only Tony fought back. In the great hall, high on coke and drowning in fury, he grabbed the M16, unleashed fire, and laughed like a man who'd already accepted death. He shot until the gun clicked dry, then reloaded and shot again. He screamed his final words.
"Say hello to my little friend."
And for a few moments, it looked like he might win, until the skull came up from behind, silent, patient, precise. A single blast to the back. Tony staggered. Another to the shoulder. Tony fell. The third shot blew him off the balcony. He landed face up in the ornate fountain below, water tinted red, arms spread like wings. That was how the world learned Tony Montana's story, Loud, violent, tragic. The choice to live. Back in the Fontainebleau Hotel, the world had already ended for Elvie. She lay still in the shadows of Suite 1124, unaware of the firefight tearing through the mansion, her skin clammy, breath shallow, the withdrawal hitting harder than anything Tony had ever thrown at her. There was no screaming here, no gunfire, just silence, broken only by her own uneven breathing and the whisper of curtains shifting against the air conditioner. She didn't know it yet, but she wasn't Elvira Montana anymore. Not Frank's girl, not Tony's trophy, not a casualty in someone else's war. She was Anna Garcia. She was a survivor. The message. Back at the front desk, the lobby boy stepped into the elevator with the envelope in hand. The camera followed him up the quiet arc of the hotel, to the 11th floor. He stepped out and walked the long hallway, his polished shoes swallowed by the plush carpet. At Suite 1124, he paused, knocked softly. No answer. He looked around, crouched low, and slid the envelope under the door. It caught the light briefly, that sliver of cream against the shadow. And then it was gone. He straightened his jacket, turned, and disappeared back down the hallway.